Hello everyone, this is not John Elvidge, it's Josh Matlow, asking councillors to please come and take their seats. You see, the great Canadian tradition of Thanksgiving is coming up and all of us would like to start moving toward the weekend festivities. So please come, take part in civic pride, democratic discourse, and do your jobs. We're waiting for you.
Members of council, please come to the, do we have quorum? Okay, members of council, please come to the council chambers. Members of council. Members of council, please come to the council chambers.
Do you want some Persian cookies?
No, thank you. We need a quorum. Come on, okay, we need quorum. Okay, I think we have quorum. Not yet? How many more? How many more do we need? I have 13. We need one more member of council. Please come up to the council chambers. Please.
That's 14.
Okay. This meeting is now resumed. All right. So, Councillor Morley, you're just going to move your motion, Amendment 3314. Pardon?
Yes.
Okay. He's not here. Councillor Fletcher, are you ready that Councillor Morley can move her member's motion?
On the dogs.
Well, your name's up there. No, Councillor Burnside is not here.
Auckland Road, Dola.
Pardon? I have no idea. Well, I don't know. It just appeared on my screen. Okay.
I have a feeling it's to call the question. Maybe.
Okay. On Councillor Morley's motion, MM 3314, all in favor, carried. Thank you. Now, I understand, Councillor Cheng, your North York item, because we have a bill on that. You're ready to speak on it, NY 26.6. Councillor Cheng?
Yes, I am. I'm moving staff recommendations with the attachment and amendments.
Okay, we'll put that on the screen.
And I want to thank staff for patiently baking this delicious motion with me. It took a while to find the right ingredients, so I thank them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. On favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we'll go to the next member's motion. Councillor Fletcher, you held it down, MM 33.18, making sports more accessible. Do we have any questions on that? Okay, if you can put your name on the screen. Councillor Fletcher, questions?
Yeah, I'm just going to ask the deputy city manager or the city manager just about this process. If I know it's a great program and we're all looking forward to this, but if I was to suggest that we look at Canadian vendor, if we ask them to look at a Canadian vendor, is that something that you think the staff could support?
So Speaker, absolutely. And I have to say, I think the concept is one that is good, and I think it's one that actually in time council will also find is a good one. I think the process here is just not been smart. So with apologies to council, I think the better thing to do is for us to go do some more work, probably through a committee, and bring it back so we can all get behind this and have all the questions that we need answered.
So I probably the process could have been better and more of a city process through your pathways. But I really want to focus on the fact that it would be a great program and in every ward, or at least starting off in a select number of wards. So we agree on that part, right? It's a great thing to bring forward, but if we could tweak that a little bit,
Yep.
then that would be with a Canadian vendor. There are some issues just about access, the same ones we have for our access to housing if you're low income or senior or whatever. So that's something we could look at as well, correct?
Absolutely.
And so just the way this has come forward, it's great to have it here. We want to proceed, but we maybe missed a step or two on the way to council, and we could fix that. But we're not slowing anything down. Continue the conversations to implement this.
Speaker, yeah, we're not going to slow anything down, and what I think it will do is it will allow us to move with some pace, and with council not having to worry about all the things that might not be answered, we'll be able to bring back some much better detail, because I do think this is the kind of thing that will actually be really something you'll want to accelerate so that we can actually get the fruits of our labors out of it.
Yes, because we do have programs already with Jumpstart at the city, and this is an embellishment of what is an existing, very successful one. But maybe you could make it so it will be 200% successful instead of 100. Yep.
We'll set our target at 200%
Okay.
successful. You have my commitment to that.
Thank you. Thank you. What's that? Uh-oh. The big, beautiful motion.
Councillor Holiday, questions?
So I heard some questions about a Canadian vendor. Could you enlighten those of us that don't have the inside information? What is the issue with a vendor and it being a Canadian vendor?
So, Speaker, the issue is we haven't put it through the lens that council's approved around our desire to purchase Canadian first, and obviously look at that. So we just haven't done a few things that I think we need to go and do so that we can satisfy council that we're following through on the very parameters on these types of things that you put before us, one of them being to look wherever possible at a more local vendor.
I'm sorry, you got to go back to the basics. Who's the vendor? I see here a sponsorship proposal, I guess. And then who are we purchasing from?
I'll let Tom
If somebody could just explain what this is.
Speaker, we're not looking to purchase. This is a sponsorship agreement, and
Okay.
Jumpstart has come to us
Right.
with a partner to do this work, and we're committed to advancing this work. We want to consider Canadian vendors that can partner with Jumpstart as well as a primary consideration in this model.
So we're telling the sponsor to have a different vendor? Is that what you're saying here?
Speaker, we are open to considerations and want to encourage richness of what we can see within our Canadian economy as a primary focus.
Is this company Equip the vendor?
Speaker, yes, that's correct.
And are they Canadian or from somewhere
Speaker,
else?
they are not.
Okay, so that's at the heart of the issue.
Speaker, that's correct. It's a consideration that we want to make before we advance this work, is to dialogue with Jumpstart around those considerations and see how we can optimize the Canadian market first and foremost.
Do we have any, does this contemplate any relationship with Equip?
Speaker, that's something that we'll be able to unpack thoroughly with Jumpstart if that is a consideration that Council would like us to make.
Okay, so it sounds like there's something afoot here to not go forward with this right now. What is the impact on the upcoming sporting season?
Speaker, there's nothing afoot in terms of timelines. We're committed to still meeting the timelines that have been articulated to Council for spring of 2026.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the extra information.
Councillor Sachs.
Yes, thank you. Questions to staff. The staff have been working on this initiative for many months. Have you had any indication at all from Canadian Tire, Jumpstart, that they are open to funding this project if it's a different vendor?
Speaker, we have not had conversations with Jumpstart around those opportunities as of yet. If Council directs us in this regard, that would be a next step. We continue to have a positive dialogue with Jumpstart and are committed to advancing this program, but want to ensure that we have partnerships that align to direction from Council.
Yes, but Mr. Zeus, given that Jumpstart and Equipe came to the city as a partnership, in all of these months of conversation, you're saying there's never been any suggestion that they were willing to put $500,000 in if we don't accept the partnership they brought. Is that correct?
Speaker, we have not had the conversations yet with Jumpstart around looking at other opportunities. That's something that we're committed to doing if that is the direction from Council. Of course, their partnership that they've had and implemented in other cities is something that they've established and something that could be a consideration. But first and foremost, if Council directs us, we're happy to look at Canadian-sourced vendors that would work with Jumpstart.
Mr. Zeus, do you know of any Canadian vendors who have equivalent equipment that has been proven in use in any Canadian city?
Speaker, that is something that we would work through with Jumpstart. They've had the relationships and they have the vendor network that we could consider and engage with. So it's not something that city staff are analyzing directly. We would work with the sponsor in terms of Canadian Tire to help to inform through Jumpstart.
So at the moment, we don't know of any Canadian vendors who offer equivalent equipment that has been used in any Canadian park. Is that right?
Speaker, we have not done that level of analysis. We would work with Jumpstart to engage in those dialogues.
Okay, but all right, but nobody's asked them. All right, the next thing is, since this was a matter that staff has been looking at since the spring, why did we not get a staff report? Why is this coming to us as a member's motion?
Speaker, thank you for that question. We've had a number of questions raised by councillors over the last few days, and I would say in retrospect, it was an opportunity for us to have considered this in a different way. From my perspective, we should have provided a staff report to be able to provide a fulsome analysis and evaluation of this information that would allow all council members to be well informed about this opportunity before we advance. This member's motion does not allow us that opportunity to do so. And if council wishes to direct us this evening to come back with a thorough report, we'll be more than committed to doing so.
But again, Mr. Zeus, given the months of work that's been done on this, and I have followed up over and over and over to try to get this project going ahead, when were you planning to bring us a staff report?
Speaker, we were planning a variety of different ways to advance this work. It came up in the manner of a member's motion. We'd be happy to bring forward a report in the coming months if council directs us to do so, with the commitment of still being able to roll this out in the timelines that we've articulated in the past.
Okay, let's try again. How quickly can you have a staff report ready?
Speaker, would be happy to have a staff report out in Q4 of this year.
And what would be in the staff report that we don't know now?
Speaker, it would be a full evaluation of the opportunity of the sponsorship agreement, about the commitments that would be in place, and would also allow us to do the analysis with our partner in Jumpstart around opportunities to look at Canadian source corporations and entities that would help with this partnership agreement.
So other than breaking the partnership and forcing them to take another customer, is there any other analysis in all these months that your staff have been working on this? Is there any other analysis that hasn't yet been done? Other than asking if there's a Canadian vendor that we don't know anything about?
So Speaker, I just want to be clear, and Tom can address some of the other issues. We're not saying we're going to break any agreement. We have not asked the questions, as quite frankly, we should have asked the question, because this council has asked us in all cases, and that would include partnerships, to look at the possibility of buying local. It does not mean we have to. And in this case, I want to be clear, we're not breaking any relationship or going into anything untoward, but there are other questions which have been asked of us, which are not covered in this motion, which we also need to look at in terms of how people can access.
Thank you. That was your last question. Councillor Cheng, do you have a question?
Yes, I just want to piggyback off my previous councillor's questions. Is this a donation?
Speaker, it would be a sponsorship.
And so they've approached us. Do we know if Jumpstart has an agreement with this vendor that this is being offered based on their relationship with this manufacturer?
So through the Speaker, Jumpstart has an agreement with the vendor Equip, but.
And do you know if this has been offered to other municipalities with the same partnership with this vendor?
Through the Speaker, it has.
And so they're offering something, they've already negotiated something to be able to offer this. Is there a risk that if we try to insert ourselves, insert a process, that we may lose this opportunity, that they could rescind this offer, or that they simply cannot offer just cash, that in fact this is part of something bigger that they've already negotiated?
Speaker, we have a very positive relationship with Jumpstart, one that we want to continue to maintain. They've been a great partner for the city, and we want to continue to nurture that relationship. That's our foremost opportunity for the residents and the children that will benefit from these programs. So we're going to do our best to continue to grow that relationship moving
But what
ahead.
I mean is, for this particular offer, if they've created a package and they've negotiated something with this vendor and they are offering it to multiple municipalities, what are the chances that we try to insert ourselves and change our piece of donation, but they simply won't be in a position to just give cash and work with another vendor?
Speaker, we'll continue to dialogue with them to understand those opportunities, whether they can pivot to a Canadian-based company to help to inform that. And we're committed to coming back to council if council directs us to do that, to provide all that information and analysis.
And do we know how many other municipalities have received this offer or are already receiving it?
Speaker, there are 3 current municipalities that have this partnership agreement in place. They are specifically Ottawa, Vancouver, and Surrey, BC.
Vancouver, Surrey, and?
Ottawa, Vancouver, and Surrey, British Columbia.
And they all just received it and moved on, is that correct?
I can't speak to what their process was, Speaker, but we're here under the guidance and direction of council, and if council directs us to look at Canadian opportunities as we've been directed on broader pieces, then that would be our commitment to try to look at those opportunities.
And has the equipment of this vendor been implemented anywhere in Canada?
This partnership agreement has been implemented in the 3 cities that I mentioned.
So is it already implemented? Like someone can already open a locker in one of these
Speaker,
cities?
that is correct, in those 3 municipalities.
Okay, thank you. Those are my questions.
Councillor Cherneslin.
I guess, well, I'm just thinking because Councillor Chang asked one of the questions I had. I guess, was staff involved in the writing of this motion that came before us today?
Staff were consulted and did assist, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, to speak. Councillor Perks. Can you put Councillor Perks' name? There you are. Okay, Councillor Perks.
I want a little bit more specificity on that last question. To the acting general manager of Parks, Forestry and Recreation, did you sign off on this motion?
Speaker, I was not aware of the motion at the time that it was submitted myself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, speakers. Councillor Fletcher to speak.
Thank you, Speaker. I just want to make an amendment, and that's as the chair of the committee, Infrastructure and Environment, but it also includes parks, as we know, that we're asked the Deputy City Manager to work with the Jumpstart Foundation just to see if there is a Canadian vendor. And I think the Councillor Chang has raised some really interesting questions. If there is equipment in the other 3 places, if it's actually installed in Vancouver and Surrey and Ottawa, that we find out, our staff can find out about the equipment, see if they were able to do that themselves. We are intent on installing this kind of great equipment, and the city manager certainly talked about our great relationship with Jumpstart, and I know them very well. I've had that relationship for quite a long time. So this would come back to the Infrastructure and Environment Committee and just include, make sure that ward councillors are talked to, selecting parks and locations, about the operations, make sure that it's all in compliance with all of the personal and digital requirements that we have, and we have a very strong opinion there about digital. As you'll know, when we had the robots, we said, can't be filming anybody, but who's got the information, who's got all of your personal information, that it complies with our sponsorship policy, and had there been a proper report to council, that would have been clear that there was a sponsorship policy and it met all the criteria. The digital divide is something that I feel strongly about, especially with our access to housing, when we have our access to housing, but many low-income people don't have access to the internet. And so how are you going to be accessing everything if you're low income? We just made sure that that's the case. So data collection of minors, that's always on our minds. And we do have a great report coming next year, the Parks and Recreation Facilities Master Plan. Some of these are great ideas. We could probably piggyback and do some of our own. I just think, thank you to staff who've said, probably got very excited about this and leapt ahead a little bit, where a more staged approach to make sure we covered all the bases, so to speak, got all the information that we need. And this is to be installed in June, or I think June 2026. So I see Mr. Azuz is nodding his head. Yes, that's the timeline. So this will not hold anything down. The vendor needs to say, yes, we can find Canadian equipment, or no, we not. And then we can get a recommendation from staff that, sorry, can't find that, or yes, we've solved that, plus a few of these other things. And I think the December 4th gives everybody a chance to do that. So that's the motion that I'm presenting for you tonight. Thank you. Where's the speaker? Oh, well, there she is.
Speaker Nunziata. Just 1 second here. I'm not as fast as you are. Okay, go for it.
Okay, so I will be supporting Councillor Fletcher's amendment, and first of all, I don't think this motion should have been here at council. As the staff mentioned, is that they weren't aware of this member's motion coming forward. But it's very, very important, and I'm in full support on what's happening with us now, with President Trump, and all the jobs that actually we're losing here in Toronto, in Canada, that we have to make sure that if we do any business, it has to be with a Canadian company. We have to keep the jobs in Canada and in Toronto. And I think that it's important that the staff goes back and we go back to them and ensure that the company that they're working with is that, in fact, it will be Canadian. Because we cannot afford to go and give business to a business that's it's not even in Canada, it's somewhere in Europe. We have to protect our jobs here. And it was very, very clear from the mayor's motion that she moved a few months ago. Maybe other municipalities, this was way before this happened with President Trump. But the mayor's motion a few months ago that went to all the agencies and boards on doing business in Canada, and any contracts that we have or tenders, that we have to ensure that they're Canadian and that we do keep the jobs in Canada, and especially in Toronto. So I urge members of council to support Councillor Fletcher. Have the staff report back, because this should have never been, this motion should have never come to council. It should have gone to committee and with the staff report. So I urge members of council to vote for Councillor Fletcher, and I think that that's the best. I think that that's what we should do moving forward. And not only with this one, any other contracts from any other agencies and boards that come forward for that, we should be rejecting, and we should only be doing business with Canadian companies and save our jobs in Toronto. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Burnside. Oh.
Yeah, call the question if there's no one.
Oh, you figured.
Good speech, John.
So Councillor
Yeah.
Burnside is moving that we call the question. On favor? Carried. Okay, we have the amendment by Councillor Fletcher. We'll put on the screen. Okay. All right, recorded vote. Do we want a recorded vote? No? Okay, on favor? Carried. Thank you. Item is amended. On favor? Carried. Councillor Fletcher, MM 3319. Protecting the Cottonwood Flats.
One of those spaghetti places. I don't know who can answer these. The Cottonwood Flats is, I'm not even sure who owns all that property and who's responsible for it. So it seems just like a good time to clarify that a little bit. I know Metrolinx is down there. The police canine unit is down there, Councillor Carroll. I'd love to go and see those dogs sometime. That the police canine unit is in Cottonwood Flats, and if you wanted to take me there, if you'd like to take me, I'd be very happy. So just, okay. All of that section there, I'm really unclear. Is it owned by Parks? Is it owned by city property? Is it owned by Transportation Services? Is it owned by TRCA? Who owns all of that Cottonwood Flats area where the raves are taking place?
To the chair, the property is owned by the TRCA. but the city is involved, Parks is involved in permitting and access, and Environment, Climate, and Forestry is involved in the restoration work.
And I guess it's really unclear who controls the access in and out. So whether it's from Beechwood Avenue or the night access, unclear who does that and how best to do that.
To the chair, as I understand it, there is no controlled access now, but if there was to be controlled access put in place, it would be done through Parks and through the city.
It would be done through, sorry?
Through Parks.
Even though TRCA owns that.
Even though
it's
TRCA
owned by
owns-
TRCA, like the Spit, owned by TRCA with Parks. I'm looking at you, Ms. Kovakis, yes, and Parks does all of the operations and holds that. And then Metrolinx has work there. Do they have a permit from Parks? And we don't
Chair,
know
I
all
don't think
the...
we're aware of, I'm not sure if we're aware of if Metrolinx has a permit from Parks or if they would have something from the TRCA for their work. But
So
we can look
unclear who's doing what there, but we know. So I'm sure that all of you are a little concerned about the impact of late night raves on the environment down in this space.
To the speaker, yes, we're very concerned, and we have seen impacts from these activities on our restoration projects.
On the so wrecking it and not an appropriate spot. So this motion would say, we figure out who owns it, figure out how to control not the daytime access, but the raves are at night. So for full control at night.
To the speaker, yes.
And that may include MLS being called to the site. The police also have a site there. That must be on a contract. Pardon about the ravers? Let the dogs out on the ravers. Thank you. Councillor Carroll, could you look after that, please? So this is probably a good moment to try to make sure next year that we don't have this overrun with raves and the restoration efforts of so many people are not destroyed, basically, correct?
Yes, to the speaker, and we would have that coordination with Parks, TPS, MLS, et cetera, in terms of both access enforcement and then protection of that natural environment.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Want to just move the item?
Say that we all have raves in different places, but this is particularly damaging, and I look forward to a solution for 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. On the item, on favor, carried. The next item, MM 3320, Councillor Bradford held it down. He's not here. And it's my understanding, Councillor Candabel, you're taking over the hold?
Moving a motion, but I guess it's questions right now, but.
Do you want to ask a question?
No.
Okay. Can you just put your name on the screen, please? Councillor Candabel?
Yeah,
If you put your name on the screen?
I did, yeah.
Oh, he didn't want to, he said questions.
No.
Oh, no questions. Okay. Sorry, I thought you said questions. Okay, I've got Mayor Child. Did you want to speak on this too? Your name, sir.
I can speak after Councillor Canaval. I don't know what his motion is. I'll find
Okay.
out.
Oh,
All right, Councillor Candabel. Go
sure.
ahead.
The motion is as follows, to enable motorized watercraft exclusion zone at the request of the local councillor at Bluffers Park and Woodbine Park. It's to add to the a geographic specific stakeholder consultation to inform the process.
Is that it? Is that it, Councillor Candabel? Councillor Candabel?
I'm looking at it. The motion that Councillor Bradford wanted to move by virtue of not being here is unable to, and has asked me to move this motion, which I do support given the geographic context of the need for the geographic context to inform the stakeholder consultation. So this motion is to provide that opportunity to be included in the consultations. So I ask colleagues to take a look, to read it, and I think it adds to the work by the mayor, by Mayor Chow and Deputy Mayor Morley. So hope folks can support it as a valuable addition to the motion by Mayor Chow. So I'll give everyone some time to look at it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, guys.
Okay, questions to the mover.
moving forward.
Councillor, sorry, hold on. Councillor Perks, three minutes. Go ahead.
Sorry, the grammar is kind of clumsy here. I just want to understand. So,
Okay, go ahead. I'll do my
maybe
best.
you don't,
Yeah,
and that's fair too.
Yeah, yeah.
It says, while ensuring that geographically specific stakeholder consultations are undertaken to inform the design of specific watercraft exclusion zones at the request of the local councillor.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't get if that means these have to happen, or they only happen if the local councillor requests them, or does the local councillor design it? Like, I just don't understand that. Do you? The English language can be tricky and slippery, I know.
So I know this was an issue for many of us in Bluffers Park in my ward and Woodbine Beach and Councillor Bradford's. And we had moved a motion that perhaps had some gaps in the mayor as a result, and Deputy Mayor Morley made some edits. What I believe Councillor Bradford's trying to do, which I think is important, is to allow the geographic specific context.
I have a point of order.
Oh, okay, hold on. Councillor Pruitt.
Yeah,
Hold on. Apparently, Councillor Pruitt has a point of order.
Draw the comment, the slippery, English is a slippery language. You know, Councillor Candeval speaks English very well. His comprehension level of English is through the roof. He has no issues with it. And I
No, I'm saying I didn't
I resent the comment.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. You're
Towards
right.
Councillor Candeval that he doesn't understand English, right? So please pay attention.
I'm happy to withdraw
That's a slippery slope, Mayor, okay?
I'm absolutely happy to withdraw the remark.
Speaker.
I was trying to say that
hold
I
on.
couldn't understand.
Councillor Pruitt, Councillor Perks is going to withdraw that comment
Yeah.
and apologize. Okay, thank you. Okay, continue. Oh, you finished your question?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, okay. Councillor Carroll, questions?
I'm just wondering if we know what geographically specific stakeholder consultations refer to. And to clarify my question before I ask for the clarification of the motion, I'm asking because there are times when we need to combine locations or we do larger, big locations.
Yeah.
What do we mean when we
I
say
think-
geographically specific consultations?
I think it speaks to a reoccurring theme in this council and in my 20 months here is that one size does not fit all. And the concern I think Councillor Bradford is articulating in this is that Woodbine Beach is unique, as is Bluffers Park Beach. And the result of the intention of this motion is to allow, at the request of the local councillor, to be involved in a geographic specific or contingent to their beach.
So does geographic specific mean geographically exclusive?
No. So I think what he's looking at is what is unique to Woodbine Beach that would require certain amendments to the watercraft exclusion zone that is different from, say, Bluffers Park. We've got a different built form of where the motorized watercrafts are loaded and unloaded.
So it's more to the outcome of the recommendations, not to who's allowed in the door of the consultation?
No. I agree with what you're saying, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Chow.
I think I now understand what that means. It means that let us design, okay, let me start at the beginning. That for swimmers, for people that are on a kayak or in a canoe or a paddleboard, when you have a jet ski coming really close
So
at
make sure you ask Comfy about Wally, eh?
Pardon?
Well, wouldn't you ask her?
So, do you want to stop the timing? Okay, let me start again. In the beginning, there's quiet rivers, there's beautiful lake, and it's absolutely beautiful for non-motorized, whether it's a kayak or canoe or a paddleboard or even swimmer, to be able to enjoy the river and the beaches. But from time to time, you have these jet ski. I know Councillor Matlow and Councillor Sachs and we love kayaking. We love to be on the water. But sometimes the jet ski comes so close at you and it creates such a big wake right by you. And I have seen kayakers, or especially paddleboarders, they lose their balance and they wipe out. So what this motion basically is to say, look, let us make sure that no one is in danger, that let us come up with a strategy to deal with these watercraft, make sure that they know what they're doing. If they are speeding, we should warn them, and that there should be specific strategy. I think Councillor Conovo's amendment basically said that while we have an overarching strategy, bear in mind that on Humber River it might be different. It might be different in Mimico Park. It might be different in Woodbine Beach or Buffalo's Park. Absolutely. Might be even be different in the Vida Sege Park, because they now have an entry into it in Eastern Harbor or Channel. So totally works. But what we need to do is seriously consider this, because we had a jet skier that died because he didn't wear a life jacket, I believe. I've seen people fall off their paddle boards because jet ski coming too close. I've seen several kayakers came very close, and in fact, one I've seen capsizing. So to keep everybody safe, I think this is very important, and I just urge folks to support the recommendations in front of us, if I think that's what it meant. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Carroll.
Thanks, Madam Speaker. I'm concerned about the wording of this amendment, just as I was concerned about the wording, some of the amendments that came forward back in July when we considered this. I'm willing to go along for this ride, but I will make clear that when this comes back, what I'm going to be concerned about is whether or not the Toronto Police Service Marine Unit can actually enforce whatever is the result from this. I've taken the extra step, visiting the Marine Unit and getting in a boat with police officers and looking at the entirety of the areas of consideration. And they have a lot of knowledge and experience about what this is. And so while they want to help, and they certainly don't want to have to fish another jet ski operator out of the water already deceased, they don't want to fish out not a single other 12-year-old who was the third party on a two-person jet ski with no life jacket on, even though his parents had a life jacket on, happened to fish the three of them out. All of these things happen on a regular basis. They do want to help, but I see what feels like an attempt to get more and more tailored and exclusive in each beach area throughout the waterfront. That's where it becomes very difficult to enforce. Because while on the beach you feel like you've got a very small area, to the person out on the boat and to the police officer out on the boat, they're in the vast expanse of the lake, and consistency of what you want them to enforce becomes much more easy to enforce. Especially, the chief solicitor would probably tell us, especially if there's going to be any challenge to it. And so While I will support the amendment for the purposes of consultation, I asked for the clarification because when the outcomes come back, we don't want any more dead voters. So it's going to have to be something that we really can enforce. And that may mean not setting an expectation in every neighborhood and along every beach that you get your own little set of rules. I just want to caution that before it comes back. Thank you.
Okay. On the amendment, carried. Item is amended. On favor, carried. Next item is MM 3322, promoting and delivering school-based vision testing. Councillor Holliday, you held the item down. Do you have questions? Councillor Holliday, do you have questions?
I do. Do we have someone?
Okay, I don't know who's going to answer these questions. Who is it? Huh? Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay, there you are.
I just wanted to understand what school-based vision testing involves. Is it like a Snellen test, or is it using equipment? What would it be? Is it more like a screening?
To the speaker, Dr. Michelle Murdy, Medical College of Health, for those who haven't had a chance to meet.
Thank you.
Yes, so the screening involves usually about 4 tests to check for visual acuity, as well as for strabismus, or sort of a rotation of the eye. There are standard tests that we would do as part of that screening. However, it's not a comprehensive eye exam that you would have at an optometry office, which would be able to assess the full visual acuity and characteristics of the eye to assess for other damage. So it is a screening test to look for the chance that there might be an issue, but that would also have to be followed up by a comprehensive eye exam.
What are the type of certifications required to deliver the screening type test?
To the speaker, there's not a specific requirement. Anyone can perform it. We do have training materials available. So places like the Lions Club are typical community-based organizations who get trained on how to deliver that test. Often that training is done through a professional an eye professional or through a public health unit in the past, but that they would have training on how to deliver that test, but there's no specific requirements as to who can deliver it.
So it sounds like a GP or a pediatrician or a walk-in clinic doctor could probably administer these tests as well. I mean, I know walk-in clinic office, there's usually one of those eye charts on the back of the door, and you know they could do this sort of thing without too much trouble.
To the speaker, so primary care does have requirements in terms of what's considered as part of a well baby assessment. Okay. So that would be done at ages 2, 4, 6, 12, 18 months, and so on. And that does include eye examinations as a requirement of part of that well baby assessment that primary care would be delivering for the infants.
OHIP covers eye testing and fairly comprehensive eye testing for youth, I guess it's 20 and under. Is that correct?
Yes, to the speaker. So OHIP covered a comprehensive eye examination by a licensed optometrist is an OHIP covered service that is done annually up until the age of 19.
Right, and so that can be done at, you know, like one of those places in a mall where they've got an optometrist. I mean, that's a fairly low barrier to entry. There's a lot of places that do that, right? Walk in. Absolutely. And would the eye screening be covered by OHIP?
The eye screening is not covered by OHIP. That is because it's not a comprehensive test, and again, it doesn't have to be done by a healthcare provider. So that is not an OHIP test. That is done as an initial screening to assess to say, could there be an issue with this child's eyes? And if anything is identified, they would always be recommended to be followed up by an optometrist to get that comprehensive eye exam. Even if nothing is identified in that screening assessment, they would still be recommended to get a comprehensive eye exam, as the screening test is not comprehensive and can't identify all potential issues.
So somebody would come to the classroom, administer the test, probably give a little piece of paper that says, congratulations, everything was okay, but we still recommend you to have the annual test. Or they put a checkbox and say, we noticed something, we still encourage you to go get.
That is correct. Either way, they would be recommended to get the comprehensive eye exam.
At the end of the day, this proposal here is to suggest that public health considered developing a program where they send a resource into certain schools to administer these screening tests. I think that's the proposal before us.
I think we're being asked to consider how we could pilot something like that.
But, okay, and to be really clear, it's the screening test that's contemplated here, not the comprehensive eye exams.
That is our understanding, Speaker.
Thank you very kindly.
Councillor Carroll, questions?
Thank you. Yes, just a quick clarification of what the expectations are. Doctor, we haven't worked much yet, but you'll find, I don't need to know the complexity with how you will build this watch, but I just want to take a quick check of the time. I see developer roadmap. Does developing a roadmap, the Board of Health would ask you to develop a roadmap to getting to this program. Early on that road, are we in conversation with the province to find out if this will be a cost-shared program, so that the Board of Health is making the decision based on the dollars available to them?
To the Speaker, so in terms of the requirements from the province to boards of health, we are expecting updated Ontario Public Health Standards, which is what the requirements that we must follow. They would be expected to be coming in force as of June 2nd, 2026, and that we are coming back to our board in our February meeting of the Board of Health to give an update on those Board of Health requirements, which would include an update on vision screening as required by those updated standards.
So they're already talking about this?
Correct.
So the developer roadmap is based on if they come back saying that?
We would be providing information at that time of how that aligns with the requirements as updated Ontario Public Health Standards.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble understanding. I'm trying to understand if I'm getting the clear answer I want. That the Board of Health, if they're considering saying to school boards, we're going to provide this, they would do that knowing where the funds were coming from and who had the ability to pay. They wouldn't proceed down all the way down the road with this program if there were no cost-shared funds.
To the Speaker, I think that our understanding of the motion is that we would be coming back with an options analysis around that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. So, Councillor, just want to move the item? Councillor, you want to speak? Okay. Councillor Holiday to speak.
So my youngest child got his first pair of glasses literally yesterday. And so I'm a little bit familiar with the process that kids and families go through to have their eyes checked and to even sort of figure out there's a problem. I have a lot of concerns with this because we ask a lot of Toronto Public Health. They do a lot. They do a lot of work. And this is adding another layer yet on top of all of the things that they do. And I realize it's just a report request to consider a plan, but these things turn into larger processes. Could you imagine we'd suddenly have a program that we're deploying screening people into schools all over Toronto because they don't have enough to check in the schools? And so I just don't understand how we could possibly sustain a government and a Toronto Public Health organization by just adding more and more to it. I think vision care is extremely important. I think parents should always be asking their children about, you know, do they have headaches? Can they see the blackboard when the teacher is writing on it, or maybe it's a marker board now? You know, does something need to be checked out? But the reality is that there's many, many opportunities to have this done. You can check with the child's pediatrician. You can check at a walk-in clinic. You can probably look at one of those charts on your own on the side of a wall. But it doesn't replace actually going to an optometrist once in a while. It's available through OHIP to have your child's eyes fully checked for all sorts of health issues. And so I just cannot in good conscience layer on something else on top of public health. And I realize laudable intents on all of this, but we just don't need to add this to all of the work that they have to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Burnside?
Call the question.
We're just moving the motion. You should be happy with it. Yeah. Okay. On favor? Carried. Huh? Yes. Amending debate. So, Councillor Pasternak, you moved it. Do you want to just move the member's motion? Like, just move it?
Yes, debate is over, so I'd be happy to move the motion.
Okay. No, but the councillor held it down. Okay, on favor, carried. You want a recorded vote? Recorded vote. Because
Councillor Fletcher, when you're seated, please. Councillor Perruzza, please, are you voting?
Councillor Thompson, Councillor Matlow, please. Councillor Thompson, are you able to vote in the system? Okay, I'll take your vote verbally then, in the affirmative. Thank you.
The item is adopted. The vote is 20-2.
next item is MM 3324. Councillor Chernes-Lynn, you held it down. It's your motion. You held it?
Yes, I did. I'd like to speak on the item.
Okay, so, all right.
I don't have any questions for staff. I don't know if anyone...
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. The Elect Respect campaign was started by the Halton elected representatives, a group of elected women founded by the Mayor of Burlington, Marianne Mead Ward, who came together to share their experiences with harassment and abuse in public life. Mayor Mead Ward submitted a letter supporting this motion that I would encourage all of my colleagues to read. The Elect Respect campaign promotes a culture of respect everywhere, a culture of respect for everyone, candidates, elected officials, and members of the public, so that they can participate in democracy free from fear or intimidation. In our increasingly divided world, political discourse feels more polarized than ever. In particular, I feel very strongly that we need to be standing up for civility and respectful debate. We can't let impassioned debate on the issues devolve into personal and hateful attacks. I suspect a good number of us, maybe even all of us in this chamber, have experienced harassment and abuse. And I know that this is particularly the case for women and those representing equity-deserving groups. Many prominent women have resigned from politics after facing years of harassment. The most recent and well-known Canadian was, of course, Catherine McKenna. She and others have written extensively and spoken out about the toll of this abuse and harassment, not just on their own mental health, well-being, and physical safety, but also on that of their families. Resignations like this highlight the need for a societal reset on how we model behavior and create a forum where civility and respect are cornerstones of how we interact. And this is crucial in the public sphere and houses of government, as democracy works best when everyone can participate and contribute. With this in mind, it is perhaps not surprising that the Association of Municipalities of Ontario's Healthy Democracy Project has identified concerning trends, noting that fewer people are voting in local elections and fewer people are running for municipal office. If I take a snapshot simply of the last week or two of the kind of discourse I've experienced on social media, I would just state I posted about this elect respect motion and received an anti-Semitic response. I posted about speed cameras and received too many misogynistic and racist comments to even count. I would note that we sent at least one or two of these to Twitter. They were not taken down. And if this is what I have had to experience as a white woman of privilege, I know that many of my colleagues and many potential colleagues face far worse. This initiative ties into the two items Councillor Pasternak spoke to us about this morning in his announcement. The Strong Cities Conference coming up in December in our own city, which I just registered for. Thank you for the reminder, James. And the city's Toronto for All campaign. I would also point to the work being done by our own team in the clerk's office and the protocol office, who are re-envisioning our City Hall civic engagement education program and working to develop strong outreach for the 2026 municipal election. The erosion of civility and respect, particularly in the civic realm, will not be solved or restored overnight and needs a sustained and multi-pronged approach. And I believe signing on as a municipality and as individuals to the Elect Respect campaign is one of the steps we can all take together. I would encourage everyone here and everyone listening to visit electrespect.ca to sign the pledge and help build a more supportive culture where people of all backgrounds feel safe to run and hold office. Elect Respect has been supported by a growing number of municipalities and organizations in Ontario, and as Canada's largest city, Toronto's endorsement of the pledge will amplify the reach of this important initiative, and it's important that we set the tone for respectful debate here in this chamber. Finally, in addition to the Mayor of Burlington, I'd like to thank Deputy Mayor Amber Morley for seconding my motion and former mayors Art Eggleton, David Crombie, and Barbara Hall for their support of this important initiative. And you will see notes in the attachments on this item. Thank you.
Councillor Sachs, you want to speak on this?
I just wanted to thank Mayor Ward and my colleague, Councillor Chernos-Lynn, for bringing this forward. This is a valuable initiative, and we should support it.
Okay. On favor? Carried. Okay, there's some backlog of members' motions here that we have to clear up. MM 3344, Section 45 funds for 109 Bond Street. Moved by Councillor Matlow. On favor? Carried. MM 3345, community mailboxes. Moved by Councillor Matlow. On favor? Carried. MM 33.46, traffic amendments to the Esplanade. Moved by Councillor Moyes. On favor? Carried. MM 3347. Oh, am I going too fast here? Oh. MM 3347. Oh, I wasn't reading any of that. Okay. And the motion has been deemed urgent by the chairs. It's time to vote to waive referral. But we waive referral. We've already done all that. Okay. On favor. Carried. MM 33. There's this fly that keeps going around me that's driving me crazy. How did this fly come in here? Like MM 3348, permit parking on Clifton Road. On favor? Carried. MM 33.49, rooftop solar by Councillor Crescenti. Pardon? You have a question on this one? Oh. Yeah, I'll treat it as a whole. MM 3326, Deputy Mayor Malik, pickleball. Did you ask question? You're just releasing it? Okay, put your name up, please. You want? Councillor Coe, we have to be patient. Can you please put your name? No, she wants to speak. Oh, there you are. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate my colleagues' patience because I know this is an issue that affects all of us in every part of the city. Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in Toronto, and some hundreds of those courts are in our residential neighborhoods. And in 2023, as a city, we had the vision to approve a pickleball strategy, and that includes report backs to our Parks and Recreation Facility master plan next year. And since approved, we've had real implementation in our city about the growth of pickleball and been very creative about where those courts are. And we've seen other jurisdictions serve and deliver on pickleball strategies as well. But one thing that I have heard very clearly from my communities is about the persistent noise levels from pickleball, which, as you will be familiar with, is very distinct from other sports. We've also seen in other jurisdictions like Ottawa and British Columbia recognize this and add noise mitigation in how they build new pickleball facilities. My priority is that we can enjoy this sport in every neighborhood by players, spectators, and neighbors. And so my motion is inviting facilities master plan report backs reflecting the best practices from all jurisdictions on pickleball noise mitigation in the implementation of parks and rec facilities. This can include separation distances, noise barriers, surface materials, and other innovations. We've also heard that there's innovations in the actual materials of pickleball to have a soundless ball as well. This is all something that we can continue to bring into the way that we move forward in improving our parks and recreation facilities. And I want to particularly thank the neighbors in Trinity Bellwoods who brought this forward to me. And I look forward to continuing our work together on this issue.
Recorded vote.
Councillor Peruzzi, your vote, please.
Councillor Pasternak, please. Councillor Thompson.
The motion carries. The vote is 19-1.
MM 3328, shining light on intimate partner violence. Councillor Chang, you held the item down.
I just want to speak briefly to it. First of all, I want to thank Mayor Chow for designating me as the champion of the city to eradicate IPV and GBV. This is a serious issue, and at the police board, we see the reports that incidents are not going down. They've continued to rise despite our declaration that it is an epidemic. And so I'm grateful for this opportunity and platform that I can continue to take on the role of rallying all the troops here in the city and trying to move collaboratively. We've made some progress with regard to building relationships between the police and frontline serving agencies, but there's still so much more we could do. And the very least thing we can do is to provide more visibility, because it is a silent epidemic. A lot of people don't know how serious it is. And so the other day I was at a community center, and I saw a poster on the billboard, on the communication board there, and it was a poster put out by our Human Rights Office about workplace sexual harassment. And I thought to myself, yes, I'm in a community center, and this poster board, so many people see whatever is posted there, and it's a great place to find out important information. And imagine the survivors across our city who are dropping their children off at programs, going to the library, and the many places where they touch upon city services. There's an opportunity for us to make it more visible that there are resources available, there is a way out, and we know that sometimes it can take women up to 7 times to leave an abusive relationship. And so we are just hoping for a great communication campaign that can include posters in areas where survivors will interact with the city. And we hope that this message that we see you, we're with you, and there's somewhere where you can go will be heard, and that it will result in more survivors finding a way out. We also look forward to exploring a preventative campaign. What kind of messaging can we put out there? What kind of information about respectful relationships can we put out there to help people so that we can prevent IPV and GBV? So I look forward to the work that is going to happen from this motion, and I believe it will make a difference in our city. Thank you.
On the item, all in favor? Carried.
Recorded, please.
Recorded.
Councillor Matlow, please. Affirmative, thank you.
The motion carries unanimously, 20 in favor.
Okay. MM 3330, Section 37 funds, the Gardner public realm. Deputy Mayor Malik, you held this down.
Briefly. City Council approved the Under Gardner Public Realm Plan that sets out a long-term vision for the entire 7-kilometer elevated Gardner corridor, and through that establishing new standards for safety and belonging and ecology, and informing the future planning of that public realm from Dufferin all the way to the Don Valley Parkway. And we're continuing momentum on these projects through design work for the Strawn Gate connection, which is crucially between the Bentway and Exhibition Place, which I'm very proud to be the chair of. Through this motion, we'll continue the investment in making this public space incredible for everyone who uses it and for all of us, especially in our downtown communities that need those sorts of spaces unlocked. And I want to give such incredible respect and credit to the team at the Bentway for continuing to show up with strong partnerships and in the cost sharing with the city on what that looks like. Thank you to city staff, especially those in transportation services, economic development and culture, the waterfront secretariat, parks and recreation, and other divisions who alongside the Bentway Exhibition Place and other stakeholders have been advancing this work.
Thank you. On the item, on favor, carried. MM 3334, Mayor Chow.
Thank you. Toronto Zoo is a wonderful place to be. I spent some time with my grandkids there recently. It is absolutely magical. Kids get to connect directly with animals, conservation signs, and the living world around us. They get a chance to be outside, they explore. My grandkids got to touch the skin of a special snake, and it helped help young people understand the challenges facing our planet, and the zoo does that very well. But some children never get to go to the zoo. Why? Because the parents don't necessarily have the funds for them to go and participate in a school trip. This motion creates a legacy of learning program to provide field trips across Toronto for students in priority neighborhoods, because otherwise they can't afford to go to the zoo. And that's what I've learned from the zoo director, the CEO, and said that he had noticed that there are students, there are schools that never come on any field trip because the parents can't afford it. And I thought that that is not a good thing. The zoo is a beautiful place to be, and if the kids want to go as part of their school trip, they should be able to. So no matter, how much money the parents make. So they should be able to join their classmates to a trip, get hands-on learning that builds curiosity, empathy, a deeper connection to our planet, and it helps build a generation of kids that want to learn, pursue science, greater education, biology, so they can get up close to see a great ape or a giraffe or a rhino or up close. It's just, kids love it. I want to do that because we want to honor Dr. Jane Goodall and Dr. Ann Innes-Dagg. It's two leaders in conservation and education. Dr. Jane Goodall, who passed away just weeks away, last week actually, inspired generations worldwide through her research on chimpanzees and her tireless advocacy for conservation. Dr. Ann Innes-Dagg was a Canadian zoologist. Her focus was giraffes and animal behavior. She dedicated her life to both wildlife conservation and the advancement of women in science. Their work has inspired countless young people to care deeply for nature and learn how to live in harmony with it. As part of developing this program, city staff will work with Toronto Zoo, school boards, potential partners in the public, private, and nonprofit sectors to build a sustainable program. And this has the potential to help families and students across our city. It will help the next generation visit and learn about the Toronto Zoo, a truly wonderful public asset that all should be able to enjoy. And this recommendations actually put it into the budget process, and hopefully we can contribute a bit of funds to support kids going to the zoo. Thank you.
Thank you. On the item, did you want a recorded vote, Mayor? Okay, recorded vote.
Councillor Carroll, please. Councillor Candeval.
The motion is adopted. The vote is 19-1.
Okay. Our last item is MM 3349. Councillor Holiday held it. You have questions?
Yes, a very quick one to the city manager.
To the city manager.
Mr. City Manager, you're getting delegated or authorized to sign off on these. Can you just give council some assurance that before you sign off on them, you check with Toronto Building, with Development Review, planning, I guess, to make sure that they're all aligned?
Yes, Speaker, I will for sure.
That's all I wanted to hear. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. On the item, on favor, carried. Okay, members, Before I ask for a motion to enact the general bills, may I have a motion regarding the consideration of submissions on zoning bylaw and official plan amendments? Councillor Candeval, do you want to move that? Okay, we'll put it on the screen. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
needs to.
Okay, go ahead.
The committee and council considered submissions and making a decision on zoning bylaw and official plan amendments.
Okay, on favor? Carried. May I have a motion to introduce the general bills? Councillor, no, we'll do the last one. Okay, Councillor Cheng. Okay.
Leave be granted to introduce bills 1033 to 1148.
Shall leave be granted to introduce these bills? All in favor? Show of hands. Carried. Shall these bills be declared as bylaws and passed subject to section 226.9 of the City of Toronto Act 2006? All in favor? Carried. May I have a motion to introduce the confirmatory bills? Councillor Shan.
I move that leave be granted to introduce bills to confirm to the point of introduction of this motion the proceedings of City Council meeting 33 on October 8th and 9th of 2025.
Okay. Shall leave be granted to introduce these bills? On favor? Carried. Shall these bills be declared as bylaws and passed subject to section 226.9 of the City of Toronto Act 2006? On favor? Opposed, if any, carried. Thank you to staff. Thank you to members of council. Happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your turkey. Thanks.